Hello. Thank you so much, first of all, for everyone joining here. I am excited to share that one of the most critical decisions your organizations may face is cloud migration. Whether you are just thinking to begin with the cloud or actively planning to move, today's session will provide you with a solid foundation to approach this journey. So the today's topic is thinking about cloud migration. We'll be helping you to assess, plan, and migrate all the data that you are onto right now. Before we dive into all the technical part of cloud migration, let me quickly introduce who iFour Technolab is. So, why we are positioning to guide you in this journey? iFour Technolab specializes in next generation AI driven digital solutions. We are a Microsoft and Azure cloud solution partner, Power BI certified company, and more importantly, we are an AI focused agency who do deeply root into the Microsoft ecosystem, which means we eat, sleep, and breathe with the cloud technologies. Talking about partnership, we hold the prestigious designated partnership with Microsoft Solutions Partner over four vertical areas. First is data and AI, in which we help organizations unlock insights and drive intelligent automation. In infrastructure, in which we help architecturing secure, scalable cloud infrastructures. Talking about modern works, enabling collaboration and productivity. The last segment is digital and app innovation, in which transforming businesses through modern applications. Our mission is quite straightforward. We enable scalable, secure, and intelligent business solutions for our clients. The partnership status, you are not just getting advice, we will be guiding you with an organization that Microsoft trusts and regularly collaborates with. Talking about the services that iFour provide, we are a comprehensive suite of services. Talking about the key services, AI consulting and implementation, in which transforming your business with intelligent automations. Data analytics, in which we help turn data into actionable insights. Cloud and infrastructure consulting, in which we design and optimize your cloud architecture. And software licensing, so maximizing your technology investment in terms of consulting and assisting you with the correct software license. And custom software development, building solutions that are tailored with the specific clientele needs. Talking about global presence, we maintain offices in Australia and USA, and our dedicated development center is in India. This gives us the local expertise along with the global presence practice. Access to world class talent, we proudly serve clients across multiple industries with ambitious startups to established enterprises. Whether you are a small scale, medium enterprise, or a large corporation, we help you to have the experience and resources to support your cloud transformation journey. I would like to introduce the today's speaker, Mr. Sreejit. He is a solution architect, Azure representing iFour Technolab, a cloud solution partner. Sreejit brings exceptional credentials to the discussion. He has 15 plus years of experience in IT and cloud architecture experience, specializing in enterprise cloud adoption and Microsoft Azure. Expertise in Microsoft architected framework, which derives secure, scalable, and efficient cloud deployment. Talking about professional association with iFour, a recognized Microsoft solution partner. Throughout the career, has partnered with organizations ranging from emerging startups to large enterprises, translating complex cloud structures, challenges into actionable business transformation strategies. Thank you so much, Srijit, for being with us here. The stage is all yours.
Thank you, Ishan. And let me share my screen and greetings to all of you. Kindly let me know if my screen is visible.
Yeah, it is visible.
So today's topic or today's discussion material is going to be planning to cloud. So the organizations, what you can say, have already started or thinking to adopt cloud, but not sure about the starting point. So this session will help you to decide on that starting point or your starting journey or when you are planning your journey with cloud. So Ishani already introduced me. So the objectives of this session. So first of all, we will just see that what are the challenges the organizations face while deciding to move to cloud. Challenges is not in the issues actually, but the challenges are in the mindset. Then we will just focus into the cloud adoption framework. So Microsoft provides a framework to start your journey at cloud. It is called the cloud adoption framework. Inside the cloud adoption framework, again, we will just look into the details, look into these things in elaborately. So inside the cloud adoption framework, there is a stage where we encounter something, or where we go through something that is called the landing zone. So it is a structured way to represent your cloud environment. So we were discussing about the objectives of this session. So we will be going through the decision points while adopting the cloud. We will look into the cloud adoption framework. Inside the cloud adoption framework, we will just go through that phase where we encounter something that is called the landing zone. And then we will just discuss about the implementation techniques. And finally, we will check into the assessments which we can offer you to help you get started in cloud. So this will be the outcome of this session. So you will be having a good idea how to evaluate your current infrastructure and how you can start your journey to the cloud. You will have a solid idea on the design principles and the reference architectures and implementations, and it will eventually help you to start your cloud journey. These are the agendas of today's session. First of all, we will just look into the that thing, that why cloud. So people may ask that we have a well formed infrastructure in place. Why you are just compelling us to move to come to cloud? The second one will be the cloud adoption framework, as we discussed. So it provides a decision, a framework, stages which helps us adopt the cloud. The next one is the landing zone, which actually is a part of the cloud adoption framework in a broader sense, and it helps us to have the cloud environment properly structured. The next one will be to modernize, how to modernize our Azure estate. So this is more for the organizations who have just started their journey, and now they are focusing on to modernize their Azure environment. And the next two items are the Azure Migrate tool, which actually helps us to evaluate our on-premise infrastructure and the services, the resources rather, and it provides us a comprehensive solution or a documentation which helps us to evolve to the cloud. And the last one is how to start. Means I have just put it a name as act. So yeah, right now the that it is the time to act. So the organizations nowadays have competing priorities. So more than 70% of the organizations have already started using the Gen AI. They have already started the different things in the AI without having the proper setup in place. I always I have came across multiple organizations who have just purchased some licenses for the GitHub Copilot, and have just used them or consumed the credits or the tokens just in 2 or 3 days. But yeah, it's true that more than 70% of the organizations have already started using the Gen AI. The next big concern about the number one initiative about the organizations is that they are very worried about the budget and the cost. The third one is the security. So this is also another a point of concern for the organizations regarding the security. The next one comes as the a compliance. So the organizations involve hundreds of vendors and the tools. So all these vendors or the vendor resources and the tools need to be compliant as per the organization needs. And one thing I would say that yeah, 90% of the organizations lack that proper skilling of the resources. So these are the few competing priorities which the organizations are facing these days. Now, the value of cloud foundations. So, as I said, that organizations means when we are just speaking about the benefits of cloud. So the first question comes that we have a good infrastructure in place. Why should we come to cloud? So I would like to ask you. Could you just, means amongst the audience, could you just come up with a few ideas that why should we move to the cloud?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
So any answers or any idea?
So people can rather keep the answers in the chat as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's also fine.
As the technology is growing and it's like there is an AI is more now and increasing the threats as well. That's why it looks like the cloud is more secure.
Not really. So if I say that in the cloud, the data is not remaining within your premises, right? It is going to somewhere else. So while as long as it is
Yeah,
on-prem,
exactly.
you can just log the data in your data center, or means in a vestibule you can just lock it. But in cloud, you can't see where the data is. It has become invisible to you. So basically, the cloud actually helps us to shift our focus from capital expenditure towards the operational expenditure.
Yeah.
So basically, we can ensure no wastage of resources and can pay only for what we use. Similarly, instead of a rigid system, we are moving towards or we are shifting towards a flexible or a agile system which can scale as our applications or as our services grow. If it be on-prem, we have to buy that fixed infra component. And again, when our application grows, we have to replace it and buy another bigger component or a device. So cloud provides that opportunity, and we technically call it the scaling. The next one is the governance and the observability. So the big organizations, the enterprise organizations currently are very much concerned about the observability. So they have all the services in place. They are using Azure, they are using AWS, they are using Adobe, they are using HP. They are using or they are taking aid from multiple for almost all the vendors. So it is their concern to just extend that observability across the different components. And in Azure, we have that opportunity. Even if you are not even if you are using the on-prem virtual machines or on-prem servers, on-prem SQL servers, we can just have the observability in place with the help of the Azure Arc. So in a nutshell, we are shifting our focus from the capital expenditure towards the operational expenditures. There are other benefits as well, but we will just go through them in the following slides. Any questions till now? If not, let us move to the next slide. And it is the cloud adoption framework and the Azure landing zones. So the cloud adoption framework, if you are seeing my screen, it is a seven standards or seven number of what you can say opportunities which Microsoft prescribes while you are planning your cloud adoption journey or while you are planning your journey with Azure. So the first one is the to define the strategy, that how you are going to strategize your footprint in Azure. So in this place actually comes the different things like what we are currently, how our infrastructure is in place currently, and how much focus are we going to put in the cloud. For example, the maybe just on one point I am speaking about the compliance reason. So for many banking organizations in India, there is a RBI guideline that some aspect of their data needs to be on-prem. So in that case, those resources they can't move to the cloud. Though it isn't in reality. The State Bank of India was the first a bank to adopt the cloud. It moved to cloud in year 2017. I'll put that link in the chat. So basically, this strategy, this thing actually depends that you are defining your strategy. You are just taking note of those things that will help you to move to cloud. The second part comes as the plan. So once your strategy is defined, your stakeholders are convinced, you have decided to move or to start your journey to cloud, just to move a few of your resources. Next comes the plan. So we have now a strategy in place. Now we how to execute that strategy. So that plan next comes in place. So we can have the different migration tools to run in this stage. We can have the assessments are done in this stage. So assessments again are of two types. We will look into them. So there are one set of assessment which is dependent upon a survey or a questionnaire based format, while there is another assessment which actually involves the telemetry collection from the devices and the services. So we run those assessments and we just form a plan that this is going to be our roadmap to move to cloud. The next part is the ready. This ready actually is the stage where the landing zone comes into picture. So in this ready phase, we are structurally defining our cloud environment. And this ready phase actually helps us to adopt the cloud. So in this adopt phase, actually we are moving our resources to the cloud. And the remaining three phases, these are ongoing, what you can say, activities. So we are governing. It means we are extending our compliance things. We are strategizing our guardrails. We are implementing the policies. The manage is basically to extend the observability primarily. There are other components as well, but just for the understanding, it is basically to extend the observability across the Azure environment. And the final one is to make the environment secure. There are many what you can say terminologies you must have heard: enterprise security, then the zero trust model, all those things. So those things actually comes in place in the secure stage. So this is your overall, what you can say, cloud adoption strategy phases, the cloud adoption framework phases. Any questions regarding this? If not, let us move to the next slide. So as I said that after the planning, there is a ready zone. This ready zone actually helps us. In this ready zone, we actually structure our cloud environment, and the landing zone comes as a part of this ready zone. So next is the landing zone. So what is a landing zone? Landing zone is basically a set of best practices, recommendations or recommended best practices, guidelines from Microsoft, which actually helps you to evolve in cloud. It actually is a standardized and repeatable, or it aids in a standardized and repeatable execution of your services and deploying resources in Azure. So the landing zones enable migration. So again, the landing zones, we set up the Azure environment for scale, security, governance, networking, and identity. And it enables not only the migrations, but the net new applications as well. So we set up the landing zone not only for the migration of from our on-prem to Azure, but to innovate as well, to build the new applications, to build the new services as well. Next is consider all platform resources. So again, the focus should be on the future, that is tomorrow, when we are going to evolve in cloud, when we are going to innovate in the cloud, not our present day where we are migrating few of the items to Azure. So that is consider all platform resources so that our landing zone is ready for the future innovations as well. The third one is don't differentiate between the IaaS or the PaaS services. IaaS is the infrastructure as a service, PaaS is platform as a service. So this differentiating. So for example, you have you are running an application on your on-prem, and you have decided to move it to the cloud. So this decision that how are we going to just host it on cloud, this decision actually kills the time. So if you are sitting, means we have faced this type of issues multiple times, particularly for the PSUs in India. So some 6 months, 8 months like that to decide whether we are going to just host it in cloud on a virtual machine or on a platform as a service like a container app. So, so Microsoft is recommending that don't waste your time or kill your time differentiating. So Microsoft is recommending that move to cloud first, even if it is the as it is state, that is the lift and shift. We will look into the lift and shift in our later modules as a migration, what you can say, migration technique. So Microsoft is recommending that first come to cloud, whether it is IaaS, it doesn't matter. Over the time, you can just evolve or change or move to the platform as a service. So if your application is running inside a virtual machine in Azure, in on-prem, sorry, let us lift and shift it to a virtual machine running in Azure. Over the time, we can eventually or subsequently move it to a platform as a service like the app service. Any questions till this part?
So
So I
we
think
have,
there are a couple of questions in the chat.
yeah,
Yeah, let me just look into them.
I can speak out for you if you require.
Infrastructure management. Once we have a stable and budget structure, so could you kindly just explain this one? Once we have stable and budget structure, reduce infrastructure management for secure, how can we allocate percentage?
Yes, how are you? Can you listen me?
Yeah, Kasif, please.
Yes, yes. Because I'm working in Neom now, we have a wide budget now, and we have many resources for the migrations, the other vendors, each and everything now. So, for my opinion, just because we have your services now, so my opinion, because we have a stable and budgeted structure, this is the very important to be decide to move on the cloud now, because we have a large database, each and everything on our premises now. And the second is
Exactly.
secure means, yes, this is the very important for the budget and stable structures, as you know that technically.
Exactly.
And secure, how we can allocate the percentage means how once we have moved to the cloud, because we have totally depends on the security of the cloud infrastructures. So we have reduced our like in a premises security, just like we have in a Cisco umbrella using a special DNS. Whenever you have a traffic for the outside, first you have just passes through all secure hardwares, then you will be reach your destination now. The same as thing, how you can allocate the percentage is this looks like a numbers, but it's for the understanding now.
Exactly.
Yes.
So let us address it in two stages. The first one, you are right, Kasif, that definitely the budgets and or rather the entire what you can say the cost framework, that is the first concern, or that is the most important concern for the organizations. So we can have a first of all, as compared to your on-prem, while you are moving to cloud, definitely your cost is going to get down because you are shifting the focus from capital expenditure to operational expenditure. Secondly, on the same context, we have a proper budgeting setup in Azure. We can not only create a full-fledged budget component, we can also monitor the over the time. We can monitor our the cost incurrence of our resources. We have a forecast terminology, we call it the cost analysis in place for which provides us the forecasted consumption based on your current consumption over the time. So this is regarding the budget part or the budget structure. Second comes your concern regarding the security. As you said, the Cisco umbrella and all those things you have on-prem. So let me just tell you on the networking aspect itself. So one of the strong aspects of Azure is that it provides you the opportunity for integration services. So you will not only have the Azure firewall in place, but you have the opportunity to extend your on-premise security things to Azure. We call them the third-party services in Azure, and you will find them in the Azure portals marketplace. Let me just quickly take you through the marketplace. Excuse me. So you can see that all these things are here from the Cisco point of view. This is the Meraki VMX. This is to extend, or when organizations use this that a Cisco SD-WAN thing in the on-prem, they can easily extend their on-prem capabilities into Azure through this Cisco Meraki VMX. Similarly,
Sreejit, the screen is not visible to us.
sorry, my bad.
Okay.
So if you're seeing my screen, this is inside Azure portal. I am into the marketplace. If I search just with Cisco, I will find a lot many services of Cisco. You can see this is just the page one. There are 7 other pages. There are 6 other pages as well. So most of the Cisco, what you can say, services, we can extend them to Azure. We can use them as integrated services in Azure. For example, if you are using a Cisco Meraki server in on-prem, you can integrate it to Azure with the help of the VMX. VMX is nothing but the same Cisco Meraki application running on a Azure virtual machine. And not only the Cisco VMX, we have the other opportunities as well. Most recently, I have worked on another component, VMX. I have worked previously, and there is another one called the Cisco Viptela. So it's not only the Azure net services and products, but you can extend your on-premise opportunities to Azure in multiple ways. You have the Palo Alto also in place. The Palo Alto, if you are using it on-prem, you can extend it to Azure by running the Palo Alto application from a virtual machine and use the same panorama dashboard for visibility to your east-west traffic and the north-south traffic as well. And the same with Palo Alto, FortiGate, and other things. So yeah, was I able to answer your concerns?
Yes, you're right. I understand your points now and your concern. Yes, you briefly described because we have many offered services, and you're right. Azure is a good thing about is an open channel to be synchronized with any other products we have on our land. Yes, you're right. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much
Thank
for
you,
your
guys.
explanation.
Thank you. And next one I can see from Nandu sir. As per the latest Government of India guidelines, all such online data storages, primarily financial data, should be in India. How can we address this? Yeah. So definitely. So in India, in that case, so again, the resilience or the redundancy in Azure caters across few things. First of all, we have the availability set. Availability set means we have the redundancy extended to a single data center. Within the data center, our services is running or backend engine is running from multiple racks, but in the same data center. It is the availability set. Second comes the availability zone. So whichever region Azure extends its services, there are multiple data centers. For example, there is a region called in India, there is Central India region. In Central India, we have multiple data centers. So if in the data center one, if your services by any chance come down, you have the opportunity to run your services through the data center two. That is called the availability zones. And finally is the zone redundancy. So in that case, you have multiple regions. So we call the primary and the secondary region. So if your services in a particular data center in a region goes down, you have the opportunity to run the same services through another data center in another region, like South India. In India, currently there are three regions with multiple data centers in each region: the Central India, the South India, and the West India. Another possibility is there, another thing is there which we call the geo redundant. In that case, so yeah, in this case where the online data means as per the RBI guidelines, the banking or the financial institutions need to keep the data within India, the geo redundancy doesn't apply, but definitely we have that opportunity as well. So yeah, thank you for your questions. So I hope I am able to address your question.
Yes, thank you, Sri. One small question I just wanted to ask you. What kind of surety will Azure give to the Indian enterprises that their data will not be leaked to other countries?
See, if in terms of if it comes to the terms of audit scopes, we have different what you can say compliance parameters in place. So organizations who need to cater the ISO certificates or ISO compliance requirement, Microsoft assures that audit means Microsoft will only provide you those certificates with your compliance requirements in place. Secondly, in terms of the data residency and the other things, see, whenever you are deploying a resource, you have the opportunity to select the region. So the data will reside in that region only, unless and until you explicitly design your resiliency in Azure.
See, as far as the Microsoft company is concerned, there, what I can see, I can see there are two Microsoft. One is Microsoft India and another is Microsoft USA. So how can we verify whether the
No, Microsoft,
how
Microsoft,
Microsoft
the
India will give
India.
me for this that the data will not be leaked in future. There will not be any such a bad thing which can happen. How can we prevent it?
So the organizations are again, it's a Microsoft enterprise only, and the Microsoft India, Microsoft America, all this comes under that particular what you can say the mother concern. So yeah, the data security again in the cloud, it is definitely a concern that your data doesn't resides on-prem in a vestibule, but definitely these are compliance activities. These are all third parties, right? The GDPR in Europe or the ISO global authority or the global audit authority. So these are all third parties, and they are continuously what you can say monitoring and keeping the other things in place. Similarly, in terms of your on-prem integrations, if you have some SIEM solutions in place in your on-prem, you can extend it or you can extend Azure to that place. Also, if you have the opportunity to bring the cloud. If you have stricter data residency, you can bring the Azure to your on-prem using the there is something called the ACI.
I will take your answer, Srijit, but at the end of the day, somebody has to take the responsibility from the Microsoft side that any
Responsibility
such
is the Microsoft legacy only, the Microsoft only of the Microsoft only. So it's catering the industry since the last 50 years. So it is the Microsoft's
but now the scenarios, now the scenarios are very different. We also read in the newspaper with regard to the data privacy is not getting maintained. The all the data is basically it is in the hands of the big companies, big IT companies.
and in that
And all these big
sense,
IT companies are basically most of the companies are US based.
in that case, even if it be Cisco or even if it be other clouds like AWS or Google, so you have to just depend upon that legacy and what you can say the commitments from Microsoft or the other organizations.
Yeah, now the scenarios are getting different. Now the way the business was being run some 20 years back,
See,
30 years back,
see,
now it is
Microsoft.
totally different.
Yeah, no, totally different in terms of what? In terms of the data
Data privacy,
resident.
data privacy. I'm
No,
basically
no,
my
no.
main point is data privacy. How the
Data
data
privacy.
can be
So you can have the entire suite of the data privacy in place with the purview.
okay.
I hope you have just came across these names, the Microsoft Purview. So the DLP, the threat analysis, everything, what you can say, that data opportunity comes under that place. And again, going forward in this session only, we have a particular, what you can say, scope on discussing on the zero trust model. The zero trust model caters across the data security as well. So we will discuss those things at that point. But definitely, the answer, a very short answer to your question will be first the Microsoft legacy, and second is that not only Microsoft, even if you have to rely on some other cloud or even the on-prem capabilities, you have to depend upon organizations from the geodiversity. And if you ask for
Yes,
an
it is. Yes.
example, if you ask for an
Mhm.
example, I would say that when Azure started in India in that year 2015, so the most challenging part was to convince the financial institutions. And believe me, the State Bank was the State Bank of India was the first bank to adopt the cloud in the year 2017. Let me just
Okay.
share that link with you. So thank you, Nav, for bringing this
Thank you.
here.
Thank you, Srijit.
Definitely,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thanks out. But still, this point will remain open in future because now the way the businesses are running with regard to because now the main focus will be on data privacy. Now the data accumulation is already happening, but how to protect that data, which should not be go in wrong hands. So who will take the onus of this whole thing?
The data, the owner is again the owner is you only, means your data, and you are the owner of the data only. And the remaining part, that how secure or how secure the data is, that definitely the mechanisms are in place to assure that.
Okay, thank you, Sreejit. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. I will just put it in the chat. Just allow me some time. Let me share back my screen. So going forward, the next slide again, it describes the different components or the different functions of the landing zone. So these are the design areas. In the left hand side, you will find the environment, and in the right hand side, the compliance. So the design areas means the landing zone, as I already said, that it will help you to have a proper structured cloud environment in place. So whenever you think of a cloud landing zone, means if it means in general, just if you start to think that I have to move my on-prem data to cloud, the first thing will come to our mind as the compute. But it is not like that. It is the entire suite you have to design. The left hand side is the environment, and the right hand side is the compliance. The environment, we sometimes loosely relate to the build, while the compliance we sometimes relate it to the ongoing activities. So in the environment, you can see the Azure billing and the intra tenant. So first of all, we have to set up our billing in place. We have to create a Microsoft tenant. We call it the intra tenant, and then we have to set up the billing. The second thing comes, so once we set up the billing scopes and the billing profile and the intra tenant is set up, the next thing comes the identity and access management. The identity access management is nothing but the Microsoft Entra, which we call the Azure Active Directory. Again, the Azure Active Directory, we can either, if it is a cloud only organization, we can just have the Microsoft Entra in place. If it is what you can say hybrid environment or hybrid entity, we have something called the Entra Connect. We have another thing called the Cloud Sync. So these are the two opportunities how we can just extend our on-prem Active Directory capabilities to Azure. We can have a domain controller in place, and we can start using Azure. We can get started with Azure. So the second design area in the landing zone is the setting up of the Microsoft Entra or the Azure Active Directory. The third thing is the resource organization. This resource organization actually helps us to segregate or structure our components. Now, on a very clear note, I must say that the billing in Azure happens on consumption basis. So it is what you can say pay as you, means whatever you use, pay for that only. It doesn't depend upon the number of subscriptions. If your consumption is, for example, 100, you can consume that with one subscription or multiple subscriptions. So resource organization is basically where we have the proper structure in place. We have a management group. Under the management group, we have segregated separate management groups for the platform and the landing zone. The platform is the place where we put the shared resources, the connectivity resources, or the hybrid networking components, the security components like the firewall. So this is the platform. And the landing zone is basically where our applications stay. It can be on project basis, like a corporate project and online project like that. It can be based on your application or resources behavior, like application integration, AI, data. It can be on the resources utilized, like backend, front end, web, like that. So the resource organization, actually we structure the Azure environment. Next, once we have the structure in place in terms of the management group and the subscriptions, next comes the network topology and connectivity. Now in the network topology and connectivity, there are three things covered. First one is the network topology. Network topology in terms of the networking capabilities in Azure in terms of the VNet and the subnet. Second thing is the hybrid connectivity model. It can be again of multiple types, like the express route or the VPN. Again, each of the VPN and the express route comes with different models. We have to choose them as per our need. So in the network topology and connectivity, the first one is the network topology. The second one is the application delivery. So you need to have a mechanism. So basically the hybrid connectivity in place, you need to have a mechanism how you are delivering your applications to the internet. So in that place, in that application delivery, there comes the load balancing family. the load balancers or the application gateway or the front door or the traffic manager. So those things come in the application delivery. And the third phase in the network topology and connectivity is the network security. So once the network topology is in place and the application that we have a mechanism to deliver our applications to the internet, we need to have a proper network security in place. In the network security, we have multiple components like the Azure firewall, we have the network security groups, and we have other components as well like the private endpoints and the other things. So this actually defines our environment. And at this point comes the security. So if you remember the last phase I discussed in the network topology is the network security. And this network security directly integrates with this compliance security, means this part. So we ended the environment with the network security, and we are starting the compliance part with the security. So apart from the network security, what are the security components here? We have the Microsoft Defender in place. We have the what you can say the data purview in place for the data protection. We have the intra security components also in place. So in terms of security, it's not only the security network security, but the security across all other resources and all other suites as well. So after the security comes the governance. Governance is basically to strategize the guardrails across the different Azure services and resources. The main thing we work in the governance part is the policies, the Azure policies. We can have a mechanism which will ensure that our resources or our virtual machines in Azure cater the same GPO policies. And then after the governance comes the management. Management deals with the observability. The primary tool we use in Azure is the Azure Monitor. We have different components, resources which supplements the Azure Monitor, like the Log Analytics workspace for storing the logs. We have the metric explorer from where we can monitor the live metrics of our virtual machines and other services like the storage account, key vault, etc. In the management, we also put something in place called the alerting system, which will alert us whenever an incident happens or a virtual machine is running out of memory, or when 80% of the CPU utilization has crossed, like that. So the management focuses primarily on the observability. And after that comes the platform automation and the DevOps. It is again for the repeatable deployments. You must have heard of something called the ISC, or the infrastructure as a code, which helps us on repeatable deployments. We need not have to, whenever we need to just spin up a resource, we need not have to go to the portal and just keep on typing other things. We have to just keep on providing the tag values. So with the automation, platform automation and DevOps in place, we can just implement the same thing with a single click. So these are the design areas of the landing zone. So the landing zone conceptual architecture, again, as I already said, that a landing zone is basically a best practices a recommendation model rather than a fixed design model. So it is a reference architecture which you can make use of. It is not any fixed design. If it is a fixed design, it can't grow or it can't scale. But the landing zone is a best practices best practices reference model, which evolve over the time with you. As you grow, your landing zone also grows. So this is what you can say, if you are able to see my screen. So this is the final, the landing zone, how it looks once it is implemented. So it doesn't contain only the application services, but entire platform and all the things. If you can see, the identity is there, the connectivity is there, the landing zone is there. So this is the end result of the landing zone implementation. So before going to the migrate and modernize, I just like to take up the questions. Any questions with the topics we covered so far?
Yeah, there are a couple of questions in the chat.
Yeah, just a moment. Just a moment. Let me check.
Okay, shall I assist you with that?
No,
Okay.
I have just found it. Yeah. Do both environment and compliance go hand in hand parallelly? So this was the okay. So as I said, that environment is basically the build, and the compliance is the ongoing activities. So if you ask me, the environment and compliance go hand in hand parallelly, I would say yeah, it should. But definitely the starting point is going to be the environment only, because without the environment we can't have the compliance in place. Do we use express routing connectivity? Yes, we use the express route in connectivity. So in Azure, we have, on a broader sense, two components that serve as our hybrid connectivity model. The first one is the VPN, and the second one is the express route. Again, each of the VPN or the express route have different models. For example, in the express route, you must have heard of the names like the direct reach or the concatenation models like that. So express route again means there are multiple models inside each of VPN and express route. Resource organization means complex management. Not really. It rather is to structure your cloud environment. So basically, if you just spin up a subscription in Azure, so basically, the a few of the customers means not these days, but even a couple of years back or 1 year back, this was a compelling requirement from the customers. So they have already started using the cloud, but everything scattered. They didn't have the proper non-prod and prod separated. So all the resources were scattered in a single subscription. They have the firewall in that subscription. They had the AKS also in that subscription. So it was scattered, and they were, what you can say, feeling the issue, or they were facing the problem to apply the policies, to implement the observability, those things. They were not able to just segregate two different teams from viewing the logs of each other. So the resource organization is basically to structure it in a place, to have the proper structure in place. So we have a management group. Beyond that, we have the platform and landing zone separated. And under the platform, we have the connectivity a subscription in place. And under the landing zones, we have the different landing zone subscriptions in place. Let me share back my screen. So migrate and modernize your estate in Azure. So basically, here again, it comes to means this is for the organizations who have already adopted the cloud. So basically, it comes to this place. So the modern AI-ready applications are designed to fully utilize the cloud's capabilities. We can innovate in the cloud from a monolithic application that is running in an app service, or a single containerized application like a container app, and we can focus on the microservices, and our existing landing zone is designed to evolve with us. As our cloud environment grows, as our footprint in Azure grows, our landing zone will also support that innovation or that evolution. The R's, or rather the different migration techniques. So as I said that the focus should not be on the infrastructure as a service, or whether it is infrastructure as a service or a platform as a service, but because it kills the time, we should just have the migration in place, and then over the time we can just observe it for some time, the behavior of the application, and then decide whether to re-platform it. So these are the six R's of the migration techniques while we adopt to Azure. The first one is the rehost. A rehost is meaning we also call it the lift and shift. For example, we have an application that is running from a virtual machine in on-prem. We deploy a virtual machine in Azure and put that on-prem application to that Azure virtual machine. So that is the rehost. We lift and shift to Azure. The second one is replatform. So basically means that the same application that is running on-prem inside a virtual machine, we deploy that application inside an app service. So that is replatform. We are changing the compute platform upon which is hosting the application. The third one is the refactor. Refactor means to improvise the application. For example, the application is currently running in a monolith architecture, a monolith system, and we are refactoring it to a container based application or container based microservice architecture. Rebuild is to redesign the application and rebuild it from the scratch. Retire is when our application we find it that this retire we are not using this application anymore, so we are retiring it. Retain it. Retain means we are retaining that application. We have some legacy application. We can't modernize it, so we have to retain it. So we are keeping that on-prem old school application to run. And yeah, these are the things. And there should be another one that is called the replace. There are 7 migration techniques actually. Replace means that we are replacing a whole of an application with another application. For example, we can have a old CRM application running on-prem. Currently, we are redefining it or replacing it with D365, Dynamics 365. Now, Azure accelerate the AI innovation. So again, these will ultimately come to the use of the Azure migration tool, which will with which you can start discovering your resources, and it will provide you with a actual roadmap how we can get started to Azure. So there is an expert team with iFour Technolab who can just guide you on this process. So reach out to them. They will definitely explain these things in details to you. So Azure is purpose built for your entire IT estate. So be it the AI or be it the AI or the infrastructure, the entire IT estate Azure is built to repurpose or built to purpose rather. So it's not just the infrastructure or the compute or the AI or data layer, but the entire IT ecosystem Azure can purpose for you. And our customers speak about us. So even it be the big shots like Coca-Cola or Adobe, or local organizations or local bodies like the Sydney Water Corporation or other local bodies. So whatever be your footprint, whatever be your infrastructure, Azure is always there to support you. Now the Azure migrate again, we briefly discussed about it. So basically it's a migration tool that not only evaluates your existing environment. There are 3 phases for which this migration tool runs. The first one is the decide, the next one is the plan, and the last one is the execute. And it will not only bring to you the scopes regarding your movement to Azure, but it will also provide you the cost of estimate and the other things. Once you run the Azure migrate tool, it will something look like this thing. So it will provide you your entire what you can say estate and your readiness and the other things. And in each of the sheets, you will find a detailed report on the specific services or resources. I beg your pardon. So before coming to the WAF assessments, I would like to take up the questions. I hope we are already late by 10 minutes. Sorry for bearing with me.
I think we have 2 questions in the chat.
Okay. Rebuild is many advantages, but can we consider this drawback line, higher cost, longer timeline, and long testing phase? Again, it depends upon, sir, the exact purpose. So definitely, if you are rebuilding it, you have to bear that overhead. So you need to have the proper resources in place. Higher cost, I won't say it's always on the higher cost part, but definitely in terms of the rebuild has overhead associated with it. The second one is that report using Azure Migrate? Yes, the report which I was sharing on my screen, that was the report generated with the Azure Migrate only. And for that, you can reach out to the iFour team. They will help you to execute that type of report. So basically, the Azure Migrate tool depends upon the 3 phases. First one is the decide, second one is the plan, and the last one is the execute. Okay. So let me quickly just, yeah, please tell me, ma'am. So tell me, I saw someone raising your hand. Yeah, please tell me. It's okay. All okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
okay.
Okay. Yeah. So let me share back my screen. Now the WAF assessments. So as I already said that so WAF stands for the well architected framework. The well architected framework again consists of five line items of the five pillars, which we call as the security, operational excellence, cost optimization, reliability or redundancy, whatever you say, or resiliency, whatever you say, and final one is the performance. So these five pillars of the WAF, and there are assessments belonging to different categories. First of all, the assessments are divided into two parts. The first part is a questionnaire type of things. It's basically, we call them the Azure well architected review. This doesn't collect any telemetry or any information from your services, existing services or existing devices. It is basically a sort of questionnaire format. You answer the question based on your evaluation or based on your setup environmental setup, and Microsoft assesses those things and come up with the report or the result. So if I just open it, you will find that it has different type of DevOps capability assessment. So it will just evaluate whether your organization is ready for adopting the DevOps capabilities. Landing zone review. So as I said that this was a very hot topic even 1 year back, because many mid-market organizations, they already started to the cloud, but they have everything scattered in different places, and they were feeling the problem to extend their compliance, governance, observability, security into the different places, different resources or different services. So this was a very thing, but it is, don't confuse it with the landing zone assessment. Landing zone assessment is again a big thing. Microsoft charges a lot many dollars to run that assessment. So this is just the review. So if I just open it, you will find that it just brings you some form of questions, and finally it will just provide you your state. But again, it doesn't collect any actual data or the telemetry data from the services or the resources or the Azure itself. So this is one type of assessment. The next one are the assessments that collect the telemetry data or which provides you with the actual insights. So the first one, you can see it is the well architected reliability assessment. Again, these assessments are for the organizations who have already adopted cloud and have started the cloud to some extent or to a considerable extent. So reliability assessment, again, it will help you to just find out your resiliency or your redundancy model in Azure. The next one is the enterprise security assessment. So you can find that there is a guideline, that Microsoft Security Cloud Security Benchmark. This again comes as a part of the compliance only. We have a policy in place that governs, a policy containing about 300, or a policy initiative containing 300 policies that governs your environment and matches it with the cloud security benchmark. Similarly, there is a Defender for Cloud. Defender for Cloud, again, there are security recommendations for the Defender for Cloud. So it evaluates this enterprise security assessment evaluates those things as well. There's a Microsoft Secure Score. Secure Score, again, while you just enable the Defender for Cloud at the subscription level, you configure the continuous monitoring at the subscription level, and it fetches you a secure score. So this as a security assessment evaluates the secure score as well. And finally is the Microsoft Purview, which focuses on the data compliance or the data security. So this is a enterprise security assessment. The enterprise security assessment report actually integrates with your Power BI to generate some report like this. This is a sample report only, and it contains the other insights as well, if you can see in the right hand side. We have a cost optimization assessment as well as a part of the WAF assessment. Cost optimization focuses mostly on the techniques to optimize your cost, to monitor your unused resources or orphan resources, then to just have the cost budgets in place so that you are not greeted with a surprise SMS on the first of a month. So this is the cost optimization assessment. It focuses on the Azure savings plan. It focuses on the Azure reservations. One good thing I forgot to mention before, that with Azure, you can make use of the hybrid benefit. Any idea on the Azure hybrid benefit? Any idea? So in Azure, actually, you can bring your license on. Yeah, tell me.
Like if you have already a license for any on-prem software, you can use the same when you are using migrating
Exactly.
to the cloud environment.
Exactly. And in that way, you can save your cost. A significant cost is associated with the licenses, be it the Windows server licenses or the database SQL server licenses. There is a significant cost associated with the license. So Azure provides you the opportunity to bring your license, bring your own license. That is called the Azure hybrid benefit. And after the cost optimization assessment, then the zero trust thing. Zero trust again, just on a very on a very broad aspect, I must say that zero trust caters that believe no one. So that is the concept of the zero trust. And zero trust caters across four areas or four items. The first one is the identity. The second one is the devices. The devices are definitely the devices that are either domain joined or what you can say intra joined, the Azure Active Directory joined devices. The third item is the network, and the fourth item is the data. So it is a set of tests that are conducted across these four areas, and then we are provided the result. So this is the zero trust assessment. Again, as I said that the last few assessments which we spoke about, this is for the organizations that have already adopted the cloud and have footprint in Azure. So this is the next steps. You can reach out to the iFour, who is a premium a partner to Microsoft, and they will provide you with the necessary guidance, and they will conduct your assessments and help you to come to Azure. So here I just come to an end of our session. As I already thanked you for bearing some 35 minutes with me. Over to you, Ishani.
Thank you so much, Shrey. So it was quite insightful and it was quite understandable and it was interactive as well because the questions that we heard were quite knowledgeable. So yet there are a couple of people who are raising hand I saw. So if in cases yet you have questions, we can have a one-to-one session post the meeting and we'll be open for the services.
Yeah, thank you, Sreejit. Thank you, Sreejit. This was really insightful and practical session. And I hope the inputs and the best practices that you have shared with the audience would help everyone in terms of their cloud migration journey. And to all participants, we'll be sharing the feedback form to you shortly. So please provide your inputs and feedback so that we can improvise our sessions going forward as well. Thank you, and thank you all the participants.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you,
you.
everyone.
Thank you so much.